Cash reserves are an important line item in any business or personal balance sheet. It helps buffer against life's unexpected events, whether that's a cash flow interruption or unexpected home repair or business expense, or even an unexpected investment opportunity that when you have cash on the sidelines, it helps you to be able to take advantage of those situations. The difficulty is twofold. One is, what do you do with those cash reserves or these unproductive assets? And secondly, what's an appropriate amount of cash to have on your balance sheet? Let's discuss these two so you can help come up with an appropriate allocation to cash on your balance sheet. First off, when you have cash reserves, what vehicles should you put these cash reserves in? The traditional vehicles of money markets or savings accounts are frustrating many individuals and businesses because it feels like unproductive assets. The return is virtually zero, which means that you have a negative return after inflation and taxes. So the natural inclination is to look for other vehicles to try to make some type of income off of these quote-unquote unproductive assets. So investments such as short-term bonds or longer-term CDs or structured notes, a variety of things we've heard. The difficulty with those are that there's always some type of investment risk that you assume if you invest in something other than cash. That risk could be an investment risk, it could be credit risk, it could be interest rate risk, or it could be liquidity risk. And if you consider all these risks, they generally rear their ugly head right when times are difficult, which could be when you need those cash reserves most. One thing cash reserves do give you in terms of return outside of economical return is they give you flexibility. Flexibility to make more prudent decisions and to be able to bob and weave as life unfolds in front of you. So we still recommend the most traditional assets of cash or savings accounts. The second issue when you're dealing with cash reserves is how much should you keep on your balance sheet, especially in this environment of 0% interest rates. And that answer is going to be different for everyone. But we see three major considerations that you should think about. The first is, how consistent is your income or your cash flow? If you have very consistent cash flow, you may be able to hedge a little bit lower on cash reserves because you know you have this consistent income level. If you are a business owner or you earn fees and commissions and you have lumpy cash flow and lots of different things going on, you may want to hedge a little bit higher, even as much as 1 year of expense reserves, depending on how much your cash flow fluctuates. The second consideration is, what upcoming expenses do you have? And those could be trips, investments, home repairs, what have you. The key is anything from 0 to 18 months out, you probably want to keep that as cash over and above your normal emergency fund. The idea being that you don't want to have to go to the markets or try to sell something when you're going to need those expenses. And if you know you're going to need them anyway, it's probably best to keep that as cash just for safety's sake. And lastly is your emotional makeup. Each of us has a different emotional makeup of how comfortable we feel with life and with markets and with investments. If your emotional makeup makes you feel more comfortable when you have more cash reserves, that's fine. The key is, with all of these items, is to have a prudent framework so you can work through to make sure that you don't have too much cash reserves, so you're having too much in unproductive assets, or that you have too little cash reserves, which will impair your flexibility to react when you might need to when reality unfolds. Hopefully this will help you make more prudent decisions on how much cash reserves to have on your balance sheet.